Hello YouTube, Wes here checking in with a brand new episode of the Vinyl Inbox. These are vinyl records I purchased in the month of July 2018. Hope you're all doing well, having a great summer. Let's go ahead and get into it. It's got a pretty big stack of records here. First thing I'm going to talk about is a stack of records I got at a local antique mall, the Waldo Antique Mall. It's an antique mall that's in front of a flea market. Happened to have a Saturday free by myself. Decided to go out to the flea market and check it out, and didn't find anything at the flea market. I did buy one thing, but not music related. And I went into the antique mall just to check things out, and found out that one of the sellers in there that has a booth where they sell records had put out a ton. I mean, literally a ton of dollar records. They had put a bunch downstairs, a bunch upstairs in a separate area. So I spent several hours there digging through all the dollar records and pulled out a pretty good stack of stuff here. And so let's go ahead and get into it. This first one here is one I picked up from that seller that was not in the dollar bin. It was just in their regular bins. This is a band from the 80s, sort of a new wave synth pop band called Fashion with Fabrique. Thought that was a pretty cool score. Band I hadn't heard of. Sampled a bit of their music while I was there shopping and liked what I heard and decided to go ahead and pick that up for $4. So that was the higher priced item I picked up. So let's go ahead and get into these dollar finds I got when I was there. First thing I got here is CTI Summer Jazz Live at the Hollywood Bowl Volume 3. And I picked this up because I had picked up Volume 1 quite a while ago, several years ago, maybe at a library sale, not sure. But yeah, just the CTI stars, Hubert Laws, Grover Washington Jr., Stanley Serentine, Diodato, all those kind of people live, doing live stuff at the Hollywood Bowl. So for $1, go ahead and add that one to the collection. This is one I have been on the lookout for, not enough to where I want to go online and order it, but I definitely wanted to have it. See his debut album quite a bit. This is Jim Stafford, Not Just Another Pretty Foot. Pretty cool. This one's definitely a lot more tricky to find than his debut, but cool to have. This is the one I picked up that I kind of regret because I have both of these albums. This is one of the twofers that you get two albums in a gatefold kind of thing that they did in the early 70s, I guess. This is Keith Emerson with The Nice. So you get The Nice self-titled, and you get Seven Bridges, which I have both of those albums already, even though my copy of Seven Bridges is kind of rough, and this is actually a pretty good copy vinyl-wise, so I may keep this around for a little while. But both albums put in a gatefold package. So that was a nice pickup. And speaking of CTI Summer Jazz at the Hollywood Bowl, there is Volume 2. So I have Volume 1, 2, and 3. I don't know if there are any more of these, but couldn't get one without the other. Looks like the same inner sleeve on that one. And this is another one I already have, but I just couldn't leave it behind. It's a fun album. It's a silly album. It's an album you wouldn't expect, but if you're out digging and you see it, definitely one to pick up. That's the Osmonds Crazy Horses. If you don't know already, if you're not familiar with this album, this is the Osmonds do psychedelic music. It's not real psychedelic, but it's fun. It's one of those fun kind of albums to listen to. Yeah, it's kind of fun. So yeah, definitely one to pick up if you're out and about and see it. Fairly collectible too. So to grab this for $1, definitely a good deal. Not a lot of record stores seem to know that it is collectible, so it's one you'll see for cheap sometimes. This one has gotten a lot of love over the years in the vinyl community, and I just thought I'd go ahead and grab it, even though the sleeve itself is in rough condition. It's splitting quite a bit. I thought I'd go ahead and grab it for $1 just to listen to it, and that is Frigid Pink. Yeah, as I said, sleeve's kind of rough, but the vinyl itself is in pretty good solid VG, so definitely be playable. So you'll be able to hear that one for $1 and decide whether it is something I want to pick up later on. And similar with this one, this is one I've heard about before. Probably shouldn't have bought it, but George Harrison's Dark Horse. Just one I haven't had the chance to buy cheap before. It was there for $1. It's got some water damage on it, but I just couldn't leave it behind. There's the gatefold on that one. Here's one I've been kind of on the lookout for a while. Passed on several copies. Finally went ahead and bought one while I was there. ZZ Top's Tres Hombres. 1972 is the year on this one. Definitely a different ZZ Top than most people are familiar with. They're sort of early, very just sort of blues rocky kind of days. Killer gatefold there on that one, but yeah, it was a nice find. I've been slowly working my way through these, cleaning them and sleeving them. So the rest of these are going to be in sleeves. We got Melanie, Sunshine, and Other Beginnings. As I've been saying, I've been picking up Melanie albums after we saw her at the Florida Folk Festival a couple years back and gained a little bit more respect for her work and definitely pick her stuff up when I see it for cheap. So that was a nice find, one I hadn't seen before. This was a blind buy, not really digging it that much, but it was fun just to check out. Crazy album cover. I don't know if you can see, but his glasses there have some foil on them, so they're sort of mirror images kind of thing, but it's a Z-Wall. Walter Z-Wall. Yeah, it's kind of just odd 70s pop rock kind of stuff, I guess you could say. I was hoping it would be like maybe a little more synthier kind of poppy kind of stuff, but it's not. I picked up a copy of Pat Metheny Group Off Ramp, classic one from them. Killer album. Definitely if you're into fusion jazz stuff, you probably already have this one, but it's definitely one to keep an eye out for fusion jazz. Good stuff. Next up, Gary Wright with The Light of Smiles. Do enjoy me some Gary Wright. So yeah, that was a cool pickup. Arlo Guthrie, Washington County. Nancy Sinatra, Country My Way. Yeah, I don't know, I can kind of pick up a few of these Nancy Sinatras here and there. I thought it'd be nice to have a couple of them anyway. Not going to have to be a completist on her, but you know, when they're cheap like this and in really nice condition like this one is, yeah, I'll grab that all day long. All right, next up we got Spirit with Clear. Cool album from the band there. Very nice. London Phase 4, Hawaiian Swing, Werner Mueller. And a Project 3, this is Enoch Light, Film on Film. Doing some movie soundtrack kind of stuff. Buffalo Springfield, self-titled. Very, very nice. Sleeves a little dirty on it, but otherwise, yeah, really nice copy of this album. Really cool to find for $1. Genesis Nursery Crime, one I definitely already have, but couldn't leave behind. Here's another cool one. If you're into classic rock, Cream with Fresh Cream. And one I did not own before, so yeah, that was a nice addition. Herb Alpert and Hugh Masekela, Live. Very nice. I have listened to this one. Definitely dug what I heard. Another one here from Melanie. This one is Candles in the Rain. See this one a lot. Difficult to find one that's not beat up. And the last one from the flea market antique mall, Duran Duran. All She Wants Is. Don't normally pick up singles, 12-inch singles, but Duran Duran, I'm going to have to make an exception. And a good song like All She Wants is, yeah, cool to have this, and definitely enjoyed spinning it, hearing the different versions. So yeah, definitely wouldn't pass that up for $1. So let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes here of the finds for the month. First thing I got here is something that was released on Record Store Day, I believe, in the UK. It's a reissue of an 80s synth pop artist release, I guess you could call it. John Fox, and this is the album Metamatic. Originally released in 1980. Yeah, really cool solo thing from John Fox. A nice inner sleeve, printed lyrics on it. This is on black vinyl, pressed at GZ, Czech Republic. So yeah, John Fox, Metamatic. I think this might have been on an Amiibo What's in My Bag series, and definitely wanted to grab it for myself. So cool to grab that. I think Gregory Short actually turned me on to this one. Geez, this must have been ordered in late June and got in early July. It's been a while since I had this one. Been a while since I got this one, but the copy of Radiohead's In Rainbows, ordered from Amazon. It was like $11 or $12. Really good price, you know, prime shipping kind of thing. So yeah, definitely didn't want to pass that up. So adding more to my Radiohead collection. It's just on black vinyl, pressed at GZ vinyl as well. Here are a few from a Goodwill find. First thing I got here is guess you could call it an promotional EP from the Fifth Ward Boys. So some Houston hip hop here. A bunch of different people on here. You got 8 Ball and MJG and Do or Die and a bunch of cool sort of Houston artists. Got Bobby Gentry with Local Gentry. Very nice copy of this, still in shrink. Thought I hadn't grabbed any Bobby Gentry stuff, you know, for a while. Thought I'd go ahead and grab an album of hers that wasn't Ode to Billy Joe kind of thing. Yeah, Goodwill prices, can't go wrong. Here's one of those 70s 2LP samplers. Actually, this is actually from the 80s, but it's on Epic Records. You normally see these on Warner Brothers. I kind of lost leaders, but this is one that Epic did. Has some really good artists on here. You got like Psychedelic Furs are on here. You know, you got OMD is on here. A bunch of artists. Hitman I'm not real familiar with. Holly and the Italians. Jojo Zepp. Billy Thorpe. Tommy Two-Tone is on here. Whitford St. Holmes Band. Carlo DeVito. Harlequin. Yeah, really cool compilation, and yeah, good find. Glad to have picked that one up. I believe this is a German pressing. Quicksilver Messenger Service, Just for the Love. Yeah, really cool. Always enjoy finding German pressings, and find them in a Goodwill is extra cool. It's on the green capital label. And last on that stack there, Bad Company, Burning Sky. Seen this one a lot, just never picked it up. So yeah, go ahead and grab it, check it out. Don't know if, I'm sure there's some hits on here, but since you see this one so often. But all right, these next few are from the Second and Charles kind of store, buy and sell used media of all kinds. First one we got here is I guess you could call him a local artist. This album was recorded in a studio here in Gainesville. Don't know this artist at all, but thought I'd go ahead and pick it up and check it out. And that's Ricky Kendall, Passing Chord. Just some nice sort of acoustic pop rock kind of stuff. Indie pop, indie rock kind of stuff. Just thought I would check it out. It was local and it was $1.95, so really reasonably priced. And this was a really killer find. Bon Iver with the Blood Bank EP, $3 was the price, or $2.95 was the price on this. So yeah, only Bon Iver thing I really didn't have. So yeah, it was cool to pick this one up on the cheap, and yeah, glad to have it now. Did not have this one prior. Just 4 tracks on here: Blood Bank, Beach Baby, Baby and Woods. All right, next up I have the Vinyl Me Please album of the month. I actually did not order either the classics album or the hip hop album. I just ordered the main record of the month for this month, so it took a month off from having an extra record. And they did a reggae album this year, or this month I should say. This is Silvertones, Silver Bullets on the Trojan Records label. Pretty cool stuff here. I've only spun this a couple times so far, once here in the office and once out on the main system. Yeah, it's fun sort of reggae stuff. It's more on the lighter side, I would say, more on the poppier side. So I tend to like more heavier kind of reggae dubbed kind of stuff, but this was good. Here's the art print for the month. Insert with the Bullet logo there, and then lyrics. And then being Vinyl Me Please, it is in a nice heavy Stoughton jacket, nice glossy cover. And the vinyl itself is quite pretty. Nice little blue inside of a clear vinyl piece there. Very nice. So that's the Vinyl Me Please album of the month. I will make a mention of this, as I like to do often. If you're thinking about joining up with Vinyl Me Please, I do have a referral link in the show notes below. I'd appreciate if you would use that link. Helps me out. Lets Vinyl Me Please know I sent you. So thank you for doing that. If you're going to be checking out Vinyl Me Please. All right, this next one was a new release for the month of July. Something I definitely wanted to pick up. It's an artist I've picked up everything so far and didn't want to miss this one. That is the new one from Florence in the Machine, High as Hope. This is an awesome album. This is definitely going to be in my end of year list, I would say, as much as I've been listening to it. Really great album from her. Not doing anything super new. If you've been a fan of Florence and the Machine in the past, you're probably going to like this one as well, like as I do. But just a good solid album from her, and very, very sort of emotional pop kind of music. So definitely dug listening to this, and glad to pick it up. Really nice release too, really nicely done. It comes with this nice large booklet, lyrics and photos and artwork and all kinds of stuff in here. Really cool, nice little kind of deluxe thing there. Very nice to have that. And of course you do get a download code, which is pretty common these days on new releases. And it's on a nice heavyweight black vinyl, pressed at GZ. Sounds good, nice and quiet. So yeah, that's the new Florence in the Machine, High as Hope. Glad to have picked that one up, new release for this year. All right, these next few are from the record store in St. Augustine, Florida, called Tone Vendor. We typically like to go there, every other year or so on the 4th of July to watch the fireworks. They have one of the best fireworks shows in Florida. I really love the fireworks there. It's a cool place to visit, cool place to hang out. As I said, the show is incredible. They have a really, really great show. Probably the best I've seen as far as 4th of July fireworks. So always love going there. Try to hit up the record store when I'm there. So we hit up Tone Vendor. They actually just this year, I guess, released a sampler of local artists from St. Augustine, Florida. So they have this sampler they put out called Two Blue Waters. So it's got kind of two covers on it. A bunch of artists from the St. Augustine, Florida. So you got punk artists, rock artists, electronic artists. Very, very nice mix of stuff, and it's all local music from that area. And they pressed it up, sell them for $10 a piece. So it's a really cool, nice little thing to take home with you as a souvenir of St. Augustine. So I thought that was really cool that they did that, and definitely wanted to pick up one of those for myself. So you get photos of all the groups that are on here, and then sort of the story of why they did this, and sort of history of the area and whatnot. And then this is just another Pirates Press GZ kind of thing. If you're going to do the low budget vinyl thing, I definitely recommend doing GZ vinyl, because they seem to do the best when it comes to the lower cost options. Seem to have good consistency with their pressings anyway. All right, next thing I got there was a piece of electronic music that I haven't really had the chance to dig into very much yet. Definitely need to spend more time on this one. But this was on a really cool sort of label, Harold Groskoff Synthesist. So some electronic music, originally released in 1980 on Sky Records. So some kind of ambient synthesizer kind of music stuff. So very cool to pick this up. You do get a CD in here called Resynthesis. So some music he did in 2010. Some more modern stuff. Download code for the album itself. Nice fold out poster with some lyrics on it, and some liner notes for the music and the instruments and whatnot. So really neat little kind of package here of stuff and historic kind of electronic music that's sort of obscure, I guess you could say, is the best way to put it. Black vinyl. Not sure where this was pressed at. Mastered by Baza at Alchemy, but don't know can't tell anything else. Looks like it's likely a United pressed album just based on the sleeve and the vinyl itself, so that's a bit unfortunate, but it's cool package of early electronic, or sort of mid-period electronic music, I guess you'd say, 1980. And I guess since I'm doing such a terrible job of explaining what this is, I'll go ahead and read you the little blurb here on the front that made me want to buy this. The landmark 1980 solo album by Harold Groskop, the enigmatic percussionist behind Ashra Temple, Klaus Schulze, and Cosmic Jokers. A melodically rich, synth-driven symbiosis of krautrock, cosmiche, and new age restored and remastered. Okay, and the last thing I picked up at Tone Vendor while I was there, definitely an electronic kind of thing here. Patrick Gleason doing Star Wars. Yeah, I've had some Patrick Gleason stuff in the past, and definitely wanted to hear his interpretation of Star Wars. Always enjoyed his electronic music, and that was a nice cheap $3 pickup. So that was from Tone Vendor in St. Augustine. Highly recommended. An awesome, really awesome record store. If it's not just because it's the only record store in St. Augustine, it's definitely a record store worth going out of your way to go to, because they have a really well curated selection, good prices, really knowledgeable staff, awesome record store. As I said, definitely it's St. Augustine is a destination as it is. If you're there, you have to go to Tone Vendor if you're into records at all. All right, these next records are from the seller on eBay that starts everything off at 99p in the UK, and it's free shipping. Picked up a few of these. These are my sort of initial purchase from that seller. So way back in the beginning of July, I got these. I think I ordered these sometime in June or who knows when. But it's finally getting to showing these on the show here, even though I've already shown a bunch of the 45s I bought later. As I said, I was trying to get a bunch of the that's what I call music releases. Those tend to go for more money. This is Action Replay, sort of another UK compilation stuff here. This has sort of a disco-y look on it, and I think there is some disco on here. I mean, there's definitely some disco on here, but you also got like Suzi Quatro and Darts, and Elvis Costello and Nick Gilder, Devo's on here. There's some other stuff on here, so it's not just solid disco. So that was a cool little compilation. 1978 is the year on that one. And I'm not sure what I paid for each of these, but I know it was around $10 for 4, so I paid around $2.50 a piece with free shipping from the UK. So here's a double album that's more like the Now series, the greatest hits of 1985. So you got all the hits in the UK from 1985. Some of them were hits here as well, some of them were not. So yeah, kind of a nice mixture of stuff I know and stuff I don't know. That's what's fun about these. And not sure where I grabbed this, but just went ahead and I think this is one of the ones I threw a lowball price on and ended up getting it. Pete Seeger, Freight Train. I always enjoy collecting Pete Seeger, so have a UK pressing of Pete Seeger on the MFP label. Sure, why not, for a couple bucks. Pretty nice find there. And then one more of these compilations that's not a Now compilation, but it's similar. This is the Hits album 10. I believe this is from 89. Again, the hits of the year in the UK. Some of these ones I know, some of them I don't. Like the first track, Bangles' Eternal Flame. That song. De La Soul, Me, Myself, and I is on here. Bobby Brown's Don't Be Cruel. There's a lot of these songs were hits here, and as I said, some of them weren't, so it's cool to sort of discover stuff. Okay, and finally, one last stack of stuff here. These are Goodwill pickups, so we'll go ahead and breeze through these real quick. First thing I got here is a 12-inch single to Nas, If I Ruled the World. Yeah, definitely really like this track from Nas. Don't normally pick up 12-inch singles, but if it's a song I really like this one, I will grab it. And yeah, that's a good track from Nas, and cool to have that one on a 12-inch. This is one I see often, but I've just sort of flipped past it in the past, never picked it up. Thought I'd grab it this time. Don McLean, Homeless Brother. Yeah, very plain sort of cover. It's like, what is that? It doesn't really tell you what it is. There's the gatefold on that one. And on the back, it tells you what it is. So yeah, that'll be cool to listen to at some point. I mainly grabbed this just to make it a nice even number. Santana's Abraxas. Definitely already have this, but all right. Next up, David Crosby and Graham Nash, Wind on the Water. Here's a cool one. Richie Havens, Mixed Bag. Album from Foreigner, Inside Information. This is one I hadn't seen before. Foreigner's Agent Provocateur. That's a more popular, well-known one from the band. And we got Timmy Rogers, If I Were President. Oh yeah, I think this is comedy. Give that a try. Got Tomita's Firebird. Very nice. And we got Sean Fogarty and Patrick O'Neill, Ireland Boys Hurrah. Sort of some Irish, sort of rebel kind of songs. Barroom kind of hyping up kind of Irish stuff, I guess. That'd be fun to listen to. This was one of the really cool ones I found that made me want to pick up this stack of records. Some more synth pop from the 80s. This is Silicon Teens with Music for Parties. Yeah, didn't know of this band before. Picked it up, sampled a bit of this. Yeah, this is awesome. I love this. So this is really cool. Really cool to grab that. So that was definitely a nice find. Shouldn't have put that one so late in the stack. Not too many people are going to make it this far in the video. A sampler copy of Erykah Badu's Baduism. Don't think this is the full album, but you do get 9 tracks, and you got On and On is on here. Of course, the hit song on there. Chris Staples with Badlands. Sort of a newer release. All right, check that out. And last but not least, a Josh White album, just titled A Josh White Program. Very, very early LP here. So yeah, I do pick up Josh White when I find him. Enjoy his music. So those were my finds from July. Finally getting to this. Geez, we're at the end of August now again. It seems like the end of the month. I'm just now getting to the prior month's videos, and that's just how it's been going lately. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Hope you made it this far. If you did, let me know. You're awesome. And have a great day, great night. See you again real soon. Cheers.